I like this. This is a new mix. Ain't nobody tell me we had a new mix. Welcome, welcome. Today, today we're making butternut squash soup, and this soup, oh my goodness! It not only does it taste delicious, like it tastes amazing, but it's so healthy for you. Like it's packed with so many health benefits, so many cancer fighting antioxidants. Our lovely squash and sweet potatoes and our carrots actually also are packed with a lot of great phytonutrients, and that's why you got to get your orange vegetables in. So they, as you've noticed, that they're all pretty much orange or colored, brightly colored in some type of way, and that's thanks to its kind of unique. Hold on, this camera is like. Hold on, let me wipe this a little real quick. My bad, y'all. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. That glare was real bad. My camera was so dirty. Hey, Ty. In here like swimwear, right? Yeah, you was not gonna miss the soup recipe. You can't miss the soup. So I attempted to do prep this bread dough. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Because it's supposed to take an hour and a half to rise, and it probably got like another 30 minutes to sit. So we'll see. Maybe it gets more jazzy towards the end of the rest. I don't know. We'll see. This is my first time making bread, so don't judge me. So I'm gonna attempt to make a bread bowl. And if the bread bowl don't work out, don't worry. I'll just put it in a regular bowl and eat it anyway. And I'll probably still eat my little jacked up bread dipped in it too. It just won't be pretty enough to put, make a bread bowl out of. But hey, trust me, I'm still eating that bread. It's my bread. I made it. So, and I'm also gonna top it with some chia seeds and probably. Do I got some fresh parsley or something? I do. I have fresh parsley, tongue tied, fresh parsley. Say that 10 times fast. And I'm gonna just get my produce rinsed up so we can start cutting that stuff up. And while I'm cutting my produce up, you can see what I got going on over here. So this is all my produce. I'm gonna and like now I guess because squash is technically on its way out of season if it's not already out of season. I think technically it goes out of season like December, January. So a lot of what we're getting is probably like old stock, the leftovers or whatever that didn't get shipped out at the very end of the season. But that's why I wanted to get this recipe in before like it was definitely hard to find in stores and overpriced because when stuff gets out of season, um, the price on it tends to go up. So we don't want to mess with it. Then y'all can keep it in. And sweet potatoes are always in season, so you can definitely make this soup with just sweet potatoes. Like I added some sweet potatoes in because I kind of like the texture that it gives to the soup, and plus they have their own like distinct flavor. Like when you eat your food fresh, freshly cooked, freshly prepared, you can taste those subtle differences. So you can tell if there's sweet potato in this soup or not if you use sweet potato and squash, the butternut squash. So that's one of the benefits of the journey that I've been on. Is that I've gotten very food sensitive, so I can taste a whole lot of differences that I probably couldn't taste before. So it's made my food eating experiences that much more enjoyable because I can taste the differences in the little stuff that I add or don't add, and the different types of seasonings that I like to use. Like this dill that I got. Here, I'm gonna show y'all the dill once I take it out the bag. So this is the deal. Not the deal. Not the deal. This is the deal. This is the deal. Like dill pickle. That's how they make dill pickles. They literally just pickle the cucumber with dill leaf in it. Um, but it looks very strikingly close. Let me rinse this because it has something in the bag. I think it's like dirt or something. Yeah, it's dirt. It's a lot of dirt. It looks like they just snatched it up out of the ground and stuffed it in a bag. Um, this is why you gotta. I told y'all this is why you gotta clean your produce because you just don't know how they done foraged and rummaged for this stuff and then just stuffed it in a bag with all the dirt and grit and grain and. Ooh. It smells amazing though. So this deal it has a very nice, really fresh, refreshing, and fresh scent to it. So not only is it a very pretty garnish, so I'm definitely going to want to garnish my soup with this after, but you can eat it. So they have dried dill. I have some in my cabinet. I keep some on hand, and I like using the dried dill because it adds like a nice little green flair, like green. There you go. So this is what it looks like in the dried up, like you can see that all the individual little leaves. The leaves look kind of like pine needles, almost like very small pine needles. But this is my fresh deal, and so you would just cut the leaves off like how you would do like rosemary or something like that. But this you can actually eat it. So I'm gonna cook it in with my carrot chunks and my all of that. And see these carrots that I got actually still have their leaves on there. Now the leaves ain't all that pretty. Most of this looks bad. But if the leaves were in better shape, I would have kept these. I would have just cut the whole carrot up and added it to my soup. But I'm not adding these little. See, they all wilted and yeah, we're not adding all. But if they had a fresher look to them and probably smelled a little bit better, I definitely would have kept these and just added it to the soup. So that's the lovely part about soups is that you can definitely use it as kind of like a vegetable dump because once you blend everything together, the flavors tend to kind of equal out to whatever the most overpowering flavor is that you added to it and however you decide to season it. Yep. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yes. See Selena in the back with a bad back. Hope you feel better, Selena. I understand because sometimes my back be telling me like, girl, you better sit down. Right, that deal. Yeah. Yeah, I put that deal on it. You a mess. So I'm just cleaning my produce right now. I don't have nothing on right. I turned the oven on to kind of heat up the oven surface so my dough could get the residual heat and rise a little bit better. So I'm trying all the stops to make sure my bread turned out okay because I already messed up a couple of the steps in there. So we tell nobody about that. This is fennel right here. Now fennel is so good for you. Like so many nice properties to it, and it actually has leaves, and these leaves are actually in beautiful shape, and I'm going to use them. And the leaves on the fennel is called anise. So you can call it fennel or anise, and you see how very similar the leaves on this look to the dill, but they're much bigger. and they smell very different. So yeah, these have a very almost earthy smell to it, and the dill has a little bit more of a sweeter taste, smell to it. So I'm gonna cut this part up, and this is going in the soup too. Okay, so let me get it washed up, cleaned up, scrubbed up. I don't want the ground dirt ground. Like I said, like that dill was so dirty, like the water was like gritty and grainy. I was like, this water was like that because it's dirty. It's dirt. Actual soil was all on your plant. So that's another thing. Like you can't be mad at them talking about some E. coli and the yeah, because they probably got a cow farm or something irrigating up the field from it and draining all they poop onto it. It's great for fertilizing, but terrible for when you gotta clean it. Make sure you clean everything you eat, okay? So this is the last of my produce. My little sweet potato here. And so with this, I normally wouldn't peel my sweet potatoes, but because we're making the soup and we need to be able to mash it, you can't really mash the skin. I'm gonna peel. Give me a peeler. I'm gonna peel the skin on these. So I'm just start chunking everything. So the prep part of the soup, I would say, probably takes the longest. Obviously, with the cutting and all of that stuff. And usually when I have something like this going on, I'm usually making it from like a bunch of old vegetables or something that like I had already cut up somewhere and was frozen and it's like just taking up space now. And I'm like, well, what am I gonna, cook to get rid of it? A soup? You can absolutely do that. Take your chopped up celery, your chopped up broccoli, and all of that stuff. Your potatoes, throw some potatoes in there if you want. Sweet potato is always my go-to. Um, and then just boil it down until they're all soft enough and mash it. And then you want to keep some of that liquid because you pour some of the liquid off so you can mash it without stuff splashing everywhere. And then you just add it back in until it's the consistency that you want. And you can keep that broth that off of your vegetables that you were making for your soup that you pulled off to cut it. You can keep that, and boom, you got homemade vegetable broth. So that's literally what vegetable broth is. It's just water that vegetables was boiled in. You can throw some seasonings in it, make it taste like something. So if you're making like a stew or something, you can use that broth in your stew. So, like I said, it's always a good, especially with fresh vegetables and produce and things like that. It's such an easy way to think of. It's so easy to think of different ways to reappropriate the quote unquote waste. So whatever this recipe didn't call for, you might be able to find another recipe that might need something like that in it. So that's usually what I do when I go to cook something, especially if I'm making something that I've never made before and using like new ingredients and stuff. I want to see like what other things would that thing be used in, or if I'm cutting something off, like, well, what can I use? What else can I use this in there? Because it doesn't look like it's something that I would just throw away. So, and then like when I get my own real big garden, even these potato peels, this is compost right here. I just throw this in the compost bin. Add it to the nutrition for my soil. What is that? And them little ugly carrot leaves. Like I said, I'm not gonna eat those. I'm not feeding that to my family. But I'll definitely feed it to some dirt. Definitely do that. And we're gonna do the same thing with the carrots. We're gonna peel the carrots. And so these carrots, as you can see, are a lot smaller than some of the other ones that you would see that don't have that stem on there, but they were significantly cheaper than the ones that were already just carrot that already had the stem and all that cut off. So I just went on ahead and was like, yeah, I'll just go ahead A little extra prep ain't gonna kill me, but that $1.20 will. Yeah, it was like a whole like dollar something because they were selling the other carrots separate. So the one large carrot probably would have been like one and a half of these, and they wanted like almost $1 for just that one carrot, and I needed like a couple of them. So I was like, well, by the time I get all the carrot that I need, I'll be done spent like $4. And this bundle was like $2, like $1.79 for this whole bundle that I got. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And hey, sometimes that quick math will save you a nice little penny. And then that produce section, especially when I start seeing them package stuff different, like, well, okay, well, why is this all wrapped up in plastic and all that, like they, looking like they didn't already cut something off and did that to it, and it's cheaper than the fresh open stuff, like, and it's not like it's one is organic and one isn't, like, no, they're both regular conventional, vegetables. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not. So when I start seeing too much stuff that I don't know looks funny or that I can't explain, I'll leave that stuff on the shelf. Like, well, that just means it just wasn't for me to buy it this time. It just wasn't meant for me to have it this time. It's all right. It is okay to say no. All right, so and then the thing with this the squash, cutting this is like the thing here. So I'm going to actually do my garlic and my onions so I can get them caramelizing in the pot. Okay, so we're going to just do 3 cloves of garlic. Oh, and I got this little band of garlic here. It's bulk. It's just bulk garlic. So see, something that they did there. It's already peeled, and they just put it in this little convenient container. Now there is an expiration date on here. It says 4/29/21. So by this date, I'm probably not going to use all of that by then. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mince some of it up and freeze it. I'm going to chop some, and I'm going to leave some whole, and I'm going to roast some of the chopped in the in the whole ones in the oven. I'm going to roast it. So if you roast it, that'll preserve it. If you freeze it, that preserves it as well. So I want to do half and half like that. And that's going to keep me from wasting garlic, and it's going to cut down so much prep time. Because sometimes, I don't know, the garlic get real jazzy with how it want to be peeled and chopped up and all of that. So sometimes the peels will stick to it a lot more, and it just makes the process take a little bit longer trying to get all the skin and stuff off. And then there's plenty of situations where, you can just crack the garlic, like just put it under a knife and then smash it, and then just throw it in whole, like without cutting it up at all. So that would definitely come in handy. And plus, I use garlic in like pretty much everything. If it has a savory taste to it, it probably has garlic in it. And like, why wouldn't it? Like, garlic is amazing. Like, it lowers your blood pressure. It helps with stress, anxiety. It's a great anti-inflammatory. It has what is that? What they call them? Analgesic properties, where like it's like antifungal, so you can fight off different infections and funguses and stuff just from eating garlic. Like, if it's constantly circulating in your system, like all the benefits are always there. It's super easy to add into your diet, so you may as well. And it makes your food taste amazing. It makes food taste amazing. What you saying, Ty? Look, Queen. What you looking at? This is a sweet onion I had left over from some other stuff I was doing. And the thing with this, so like with soup, they have like submersion mixers, like it's a hand mixer, and you put it in there and you blend it like this. If you want a chunkier soup, I would suggest using the method that I'm about to use, which is just a standard potato masher and just mashing it around in the pot. So that's what I'm going to do. And it'll give you a much chunkier kind of consistency to your soup. And that's what I like, because I like to be able to taste the different stuff from the soup. Like I put it in there. I meant to be able to taste it. I'm just dropping it everywhere. Chop that up. And see, like, it don't have to be like perfect or pretty or none of that. Just get it small enough, because the smaller you can chunk, especially like your starchy stuff and your carrots, like your carrots, your squash, the potatoes, stuff like that. The smaller you can chunk them, the faster they'll cook. So it just depends on how long you're trying to wait. You're trying to wait on your stuff to be ready. So the cook time is maybe about like 20 minutes or so once you get the water hot and boiling. But, and this is my dill. And so I'm only going to use like a couple of sprigs of this, so it'll equal out to like maybe about a tablespoon or two of fresh dill. So that's my dill. I'm going to give it another rinse over since it's now not mashed up in a bunch. I'm not trying to get any surprise dirt in my mouth. Not trying to get surprise dirted. Did you buy the garlic from Aldi? No, I didn't. I got it at our little regular grocery store. I think it's really only specific to Ohio. But yeah, no, not. I don't remember seeing bulk garlic at Aldi. They might though now, or some Aldi might have it now, because they've been doing like a lot of like prep fruit cups and vegetable cups and stuff like that, like with the stuff already kind of chopped up or cut up. That's how I like to get my pineapples, because I feel like cutting a fresh pineapple is just too much work. And they're starting to get better with the pricing for stuff like that. Because before it was like you could buy a pineapple for like $3, and then you go and get that stuff cut up like that, and it'd be like $5 or $6. I'm like, if I just bought the pineapple and cut it up myself, like I could save $2. So, but now they're getting way better with the pricing on that, so I don't have to make them type of life choices. And so the key with the dill, you want to try and cut it up small enough so that when you cook it, the leaves and things will separate, so you can get that dill flavor all throughout the soup. So I'm just dropping it in my pot. So my pot right now has a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. A little bit of olive oil in the bottom, and I just put my onion and my garlic and my dill in there. And I'm about to cut this off. Once I start cutting my fennel. So this is pretty much going in just like this. I'm just gonna start chunking everything now. So this smells so good. So I don't know if you've ever had fennel seeds like in sausage and stuff like that, and pizza. It tends to be like a main kind of flavoring situation for like sweet Italian sausage and stuff like that. This smells amazing. It smells just like that. And so we're just gonna cut this down the middle, cut it in half. So we got a flat surface. Oh, so this needs 6 cups of water. So what I'm gonna do for my broth, because I hear my garlic and stuff in here sizzling a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm gonna bring y'all over here so y'all can check out what's going on in the pot. Let me unplug it, because I ain't want my phone to die on y'all. So this is what's going on in the pot. So this is my garlic, my onion, and my dill. Got some dill on the side. With just a little bit of olive oil so that, it can go ahead and cook down without burning your pan. And so now I'm about to do my broth. So that's my water basically. So in this little measuring cup, we're gonna measure out 1 cup of water. And I'm using warm water, and like I said, I have a filter on my faucet, so it's not so I don't have to worry about, you know, like, oh, you use the faucet. No, it's filtered water. That's the beauty of having it on the faucet. And especially if you don't need cold water, like, you know, you don't have to take the time to do all that. Where's my bathroom? Oh. So this, and then the instructions on this to make your broth says dissolve 1 teaspoon of powder in 1 cup of boiling water. We're not using boiling water. I use like kind of warmish, lukewarm. It'll be all right. All right. So this is 20 cc's, which is about 2 tablespoons. Um, so this will be, because I need 6 cups of water. So that's 6 teaspoons, and that's about 2 tablespoons. You see the about math that I did in my head. That's how you keep from getting caught up in numbers. Like when we have our company out and are used to supplying the food, I definitely could. I love to cook. If y'all come up with like some recipes or something that you want me to do or try, like if I haven't made it before, like I'll definitely try it before I buy it. Oh, there goes the drawer. Yeah. Why that fell off track. And then I just mix the bouillon. So you can either, and so that's what I'm saying. You can either use the bouillon, which are the cubes. I have the powder because it's easier for me to mix it. And so then I'm also, let me make sure this ain't burning. You don't want it to burn. You want it to be aromatic. They say you want it to be yummy and aromatic. Okay. Everything smells amazing though. So I have these college and savory infusions. These are also in the same aisle where I found the bouillon, at least in the store that I shop in. And so they have a couple of different ones. This is roasted chili and garlic base. I haven't used this. I want to use this in my white chicken chili. Don't worry, that recipe is coming. Uh, I don't know why I've been putting it off, but we definitely gonna make us some white chicken chili. So know that. Okay. No, that is definitely coming. I had another one in here, and I think that was actually the one that I wanted to use instead of this one. It might be in the refrigerator. Yeah. Herb roasted chicken base. So I'll probably end up doing a mixture of these two. But once you use it, you got to refrigerate it. So that's why I was in the refrigerator. And then for this one, does it give? Oh yeah, for broth, add 1 to 2 teaspoons per cup of water. So like I said, I'm using 6 cups of water, and I already got my base chicken broth. So this is just kind of to add a little extra flavoring on the side because I like the way they kind of blend their flavors together. And it comes out like this, like you see, like on like toothpaste, like a paste. It's a paste basically, so it's not liquid really, and it's not quite a dry situation. All right, and so I'm just gonna mix this in, and I'm gonna fill this up with the rest of the water. And the rest of those leaves that was on my fennel, I'm not putting all of those in here. I'm probably gonna take like a sprig or two, but that's seasoning. Those little leaves, that's seasoning. So I'm gonna put it in a little glass jar. First I'm gonna dry it out. I'm gonna put it on a pan with like some parchment paper or something like that. I'm gonna dry it out, and then I'm gonna put it in a little glass bottle, and boom, it's the seasoning. So the vegetables, most of the herbs and stuff that they sell as seasoning are just the green leafies that we don't eat on the root vegetables that we cook. So like potatoes, they have flowers and stuff too, and little herbs that grow on it, and squash have really pretty flowers actually. Um, so I just added enough water. Let me put some more water to make 2 whole cups. So this is 1/3 of the liquid that I'm gonna need for my soup. And my garlic and onion in here is getting real, real in a real crispy situation. So that's why I need to go ahead and get my water in motion so it could start boiling instead of frying. So now I've added, oops, that, that loosened up on me. So now I've added the water to the pot. I'm gonna turn the water up. So now the water can go ahead and start boiling. And I'm just gonna keep adding in the water until I get to my 6 cups. And I'm gonna let it boil. And then once I get my stuff done, chopped up and cubed up and stuff, I'm just add it to the boiling water and let it boil until it's soft. Why is this not? It was just locked. Okay. All right. That did it. There we go. Okay, that did it. I guess I was moving it side to side too much and was like, hey, hold on. So adding some of that beef and caramelized onion stuff to this cup of water. That's all that is. That's why you hear that water. That is. Men not only drink water, but they also multitask. Okay. Oh, I can put my garlic up. See, I chopped that garlic and moved that so quick, I didn't even realize that I was already done with it. Ta-da. Keeping my space clear. And really, like, when I'm, like, prepping my vegetables and stuff like that, I like to just kind of, just think about the different things that they're good for, how they're going to taste, in whatever I'm making. Next to whatever else, what else could I put with this to make this whole thing come together and really taste like, oh, she did that. I'm just putting the rest of my water in, so like I said, it can go ahead and start boiling. And I think my dough, let me check on my dough. It looks like it rose a little bit. I don't know. I don't think I mixed it that well. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see when I try and bake it, how it bake up. Let me check the temperature I gotta have this oven to bake this bread. Homemade bread bowls. So where we at? 400. Okay. And then my egg situation. So I'm not gonna turn the oven on yet because we don't even have the vegetables in the thing, and I'm not trying to cook myself. I'm trying to cook the food, not me. So I would be baking in this kitchen if I put that oven on 400 right now. So now we just start chunking stuff. And this, like I said, this has such a full and like just fresh and really nice smell to it. Like even this part. Yes. I didn't even think that, but yeah, that smells really good. I'm gonna get this bowl to hold all my chunk pieces. Because it's all going in at the same time. It's just got to boil. Oh, man. Okay. Dude. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because all of this stuff is going to get soft and it's going to get mashed up and all of that stuff. If you want a really smooth and creamy soup, that's when I would suggest you using the blender, either the hand blender or you can, if you have a big blender and it has a glass pitcher to it, you can just pour the whole pot of soup or as much of the soup that you can fit in there and you can just blend it like that. Me, I have the only blender I have are my personal cup size blenders, so I have to blend it 1 cup at a time, but that's fine. That's fine too. So I just kind of go with however I'm feeling because the last time I made this, I did make it as a really smooth and creamy soup. But I also ended up adding way too much pepper, and it was hot, like it was really spicy. But it was still really good. Like I don't know, it was weird. So yeah, because I don't really do spicy foods, but it was really good even though it was so spicy. I probably should have added some turmeric and like either in it or on top as like a garnish or something because that would have really um, benefited from all of that pepper I put in there. Because as I was saying, and I forget which video I was doing, but turmeric has to be eaten with black pepper because that helps you actually absorb the active antioxidants in it, the curcumin. So yeah, that pepper would definitely set that off. This is my first time cooking with the fennel bowl. I usually season, my meats and stuff with the fennel seeds. But this is another one of those plants that are, just useful and good and tasty, and they all parts of it pretty much have a same or similar flavor. Definitely, they all smell similar to the seed. They all smell pretty much the same, but each part kind of has like a similar flavor as well. And depending on which part you use, will give a different texture to your food. So like that's why I'm trying out the bold part for the soup, especially since I have the option to blend it if I want. And get the carrots going. And so the way they said to do this, I'm gonna tip off. The way they said to do this was cut it in half so that you have like long spears. But these carrots are so like narrow. I'm not gonna cut it in the long way first. I'm not cutting it like this first. I'm gonna just chop it because they're so narrow. So they're like shooting off the end of this thing. This is so messed up. Already hot up in here. And carrot pieces up there. Some of them shot off into the sink. They like pop right off the end. Soup and bread will fill you up quick. Absolutely will. Especially when you use such nutrient dense vegetables as I am. So squash, very nutrient dense, super good for your digestive system. Like I said, you can use all sweet potato. You can add in other types of squash. You can do this with pumpkin. Uh, like, cause squash, like they all pretty much cook up the same. Like they have that same kind of, mushy, like kind of texture once they get cooked. That kind of soft, you know, situation. But they all start out in like different hardnesses. Like acorn squash, I would say, is probably one of the hardest squash to cut. So that's why they advise you to bake it and then cut it. Oh, look at this! So, and this ramen is so good. It smells like I'm making ramen noodles. So the the water is boiling vigorously. So I'm going to go ahead and add what I got chopped up right now. So it can start cooking on down. And then I'm going to get my sweet potato and my squash cut up. She's awake. Okay. My daughter just woke up. She about to be on me. But I went and got her some more pouches, so it's okay. So I know if she get a little too fussy, I just give her one of her food pouches and boom, there you go. Quiet for at least another 20 minutes. So like I said, like the chunks don't have to be like perfect. They're like that big. So maybe about like a fingertip in some size. Because they said about like 2 inches or something like that. So like I said, the smaller you cut them, the faster they're gonna cook when you boil it. Because the surface area is smaller. So like I said, it just depends on how long you want to have to boil the stuff. Because really, you could have put this stuff in there whole. Or you could have baked them. Like cut it in half. Threw them in the oven and baked them to make them soft, and then like then went and put stuff in the pot and mixed it together and all that. But like there's plenty of ways to do it. Like the whole point is like just cook it, just get it cooked. If you're adding broccoli to this, I would definitely say don't boil the broccoli because the broccoli loses a ton of vitamin A. I want to say when you boil it. So steamed broccoli is best. So you would cook the broccoli separate, steam it, and then once all your other ingredients in your soup is done, then you would add your broccoli and mash it and blend it or whatever you're gonna do to get it into the soup texture. But yeah, definitely don't want to boil the broccoli. Boils out a lot of the nutrients that broccoli is known for. It kind of defeats the purpose of eating broccoli if you boil it. Especially if you're not going to use the water from when you boil it. So just go ahead and steam it then. Just steam it then. Because you can really steam it like on top of the pot that you're making the soup in. Because like I said, you got to boil the water anyway. You can put it in a metal colander, with the hose. You can just put the broccoli on top of there like that and then cover it. And that steams it. Oh, my glass is literally, you see, oh, the screw came out. I blame her. I blame the little one. I blame the little one because she always grab my glasses and then run off with them and be doing whatever. So I got a small screwdriver that I can screw it back on. But I can't see y'all without getting really close. So I'm going to have to get real close and squinch my eyes to read the comments. To read the comments. Top ramen. Yeah, that's what it smells like. Okie dokie. Now this right here, this is my bag of parsley. I'm tempted to put some in it, but I think I might just add it as some type of garnish situation. I don't know. We'll see. Give me some time. I got some time to think about what I want to do with it. This was some extra onion just in case if I wanted to add more onion, but I think it got enough in there. I think it'll be all right. It'll be cool. Then I have some radishes. I'm definitely going to grate one of these radishes on top. Radishes are great, a great detoxing food. They're amazing for your whole digestive system, your kidneys, your liver, like all of it. Any organ that has anything to do with detoxing your body, radish is the one that's definitely going to get it together. So if you don't eat radishes, no, eat some radish, okay? They don't even really have a flavor, especially like the finer you grate it, the easier it is to hide the flavor. But I like the way they taste. I'll eat them like almost whole. Like I'll just slice them up on my salads and stuff like that. This squash is about to try and give me a situation. Trying to cut it down the middle. because I don't really have a big knife. And squash is hard. Like I said, like acorn squash is the hardest. But this, I absolutely probably should have just baked this a little bit and then cut it in half. Because I think that would have made this whole situation a lot easier. But like, I just have to cut it in stages to get the knife all the way through. Now remember, always keep the blade pointed down because we're not trying to put nobody's eye out. Oh, did your show stop, Duda? Here, I gotta turn her show back on. Hold on. Come back and finish fighting with the squash. Yeah, because they ain't even go through the other side. Look at that. You see how it just played me? You see how it just... Let me go put this show on for her real quick. Yeah. What happened with your water, girl? Where your water? Okay. And we're back. Yeah. And there it goes. I will not be defeated by squash. I know, right? I gotta use all the muscles. So yeah. And you see, this doesn't have a whole lot of seeds in it. So we just scoop that part out and chuck it somewhere. Like I said, I don't have like a compost garden or something. If I did, I absolutely would just put all this stuff in the pile from my compost. And I mean, if you really want like these seeds in here, these seeds are packed full of nutrition and protein, and they make a nice little quick snack. So you can keep the seeds and season them with some salt and pepper, a little bit of olive oil, and roast them. Just roast them in the oven. I believe it's like put it on like 350 or something for a few minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do with these seeds. But whatever rest of the stuff is that I scoop out, that's gotta go. Right. The rest of my stuff is boiling. I'm gonna add this to that. Go on and boil as well. Whew. These are very, and like I like to use the sea salt, like the big ones that you have to use a grinder for. Cause I don't know, it just tastes saltier. It tastes like it's saltier. Okay. But yeah, I like putting some of that on this with some pepper. And then now I got the smoked paprika. Oh, smoked paprika changed my life, y'all. You have no idea. No idea. So we're taking this inside part and we're gonna chunk it out. Okay. And so this is my version of peeling it, because essentially you just want to peel it because you don't want to eat that skin. So I cut it in half to make it easier. So when I go to cut it in the chunks, it has a flat surface to hold it. But you can use a potato peeler and just peel that off. Like I said, I don't let this food stress me out. This is my stress relief, not my stressor. So I always find a smarter way, not a harder way to do it. And then plus you can maintain more of the edible part of the squash under the skin when you use a peeler. If I had to bake this first, the edible part, like I could have just took something and just scooped it out because it all would have been soft. So like there's plenty of different ways to do this. Um, I didn't think about it fast enough, and then didn't really have time to sit and let that part cook, because you have to let it cook and then you also have to let it cool so you can handle it. So that's like almost the extra like 30-minute endeavor. So if I didn't have these in the oven when we started, this is the method I was gonna have to take. So you see, and then we got the outside part going for the most part. And then we just chunk it. Chunk it like the rest of it. That's still pieces from the other parts that I had cut. This is definitely a good arm workout, though. This part is a little bit easier to cut because that middle part is missing from where the seeds were. Here, her shoulder stopped. And I got some coconuts over here. I don't know if y'all can see them on the table. Got some coconuts on the table. So I can't wait to get into those. Oh, it's going to be so good and fresh. Oh, you can't tell me nothing about some fresh coconut. I haven't had fresh coconut since I was like maybe 5. Probably the last time my mama bought a coconut. And we had dropped it off the balcony to break it open because we was trying with the hammer and that wasn't working. So we just dropped it off the balcony real quick. Like, it's all right. And so now we're just chunking it. So, like I said, it don't have to be like perfect or tiny or nothing like that. It just needs to not be a whole gigantic piece. So it can go ahead and cook down, get soft, get mashed up, and become some mashed deliciousness. So you said this is about a 2-inch piece. Um, it's not that thick. It's maybe about like a half-inch thick, probably. Like, so that's a nice size. And we just add them to the pot. I'm gonna bowl go here. Bring my bowl back on so I can finish. And I think this was the last thing going in. And then once that goes in, I'm gonna let it go ahead and brew for like 20 minutes. Double check it with a fork. Make sure that because it's the last thing going in, it's going to determine when everything else is done. So once the squash is the consistency that I wanted, then That's how I know when everything else is pretty much where it's going to be. This is like a real arm workout, though. Whew. Next time I know. Bake the squash first. Okay, y'all. Bake it first. And then scoop your cooked squash out of it. And like I said, like the acorn squash is like kind of greenish, orangish, and it has like different little lobes all around. It almost looks like a big green orange clove of garlic. Not clove, but bundle of garlic. And those you pretty much have to because they're so hard. Like you would probably injure yourself trying to cut an uncooked acorn squash. And you see, this makes a lot. Like you see how big that pot is. The pot is like with 6 cups of water, it's about halfway full with liquid. And the stuff, the solid, the vegetables and stuff that I'm putting in there is filling it up. So it's not like loot here. I'll show y'all once I get these last pieces in there. And then you can see what it looks like with just half of the butternut squash. So that's what I'm saying. This makes a lot of soup. So whether you're feeding a big family or just you could definitely end up with plenty of leftovers. It works good as a main dish or a side. You could either leave it vegetarian or you can add like some meat pieces to it. The Lord special would be jerk jackfruit tacos. Nah, did you see my post about the lamb tacos I made though? Oh, somebody been holding out. I'm upset. The doc is upset because somebody been holding out on the taco meat choices, and they didn't say that lamb taco tastes better than all of them meat tacos. Okay, that lamb taco was hitting, and I still got like 2 more servings in the fridge. Oh yes, definitely going down another night very soon. And all it was just some ground lamb. I just bought some ground lamb and I seasoned it myself. That might be why, because I gotta remember what I put on it because it turned out really good and it really complimented that lamb flavor because that lamb meat has a whole different type of flavor to it. Right, I meant to tell you. So this is what it looks like. This is you see how tight it is. Like this is 6 cups of water. And you don't want your soup like too watery or like over juicy because like I said, you're gonna have to pour some of that out anyway so you can mash your ingredients without sloshing liquid everywhere. But this keep falling. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Like it's not a lot of room in this. I'm about to put the lid on it too. And you see the fennel is already like soft, so that's gonna mash down with no problem. And it smells so good, y'all. Like it smells like chicken noodle soup, no chicken. Almost like that's what it smells like right now already. Chicken noodle soup, no chicken or soda on the side. Okay, lamb. Yeah, yeah. I tried it out. It was a very good idea at the time, and it turned out to be an even better idea later. And we just gonna finish this up, peel it. I think I'm actually gonna turn my oven on for my bread. Let me see. Let me peek over here. It looks like it's rising a little bit. I don't know. It look a little struggle if you ask me, but like I said, if the bread don't turn out pretty enough for me to put this soup in it, I'm still gonna use the bread to dip in the soup. Like I said, I do not let this food stress me out. That is not what it's here for. And especially like comfort food, like why do you think like mashed potato stuff and all that stuff, like the pumpkin pies and the sweet potato pies, and why do you think all that stuff make you feel so good and taste so good? Because like that's what it's there for. It's a comfort food. It has all of the stuff that's like calming in it. The little antioxidants and stuff in it is great for your blood pressure. So if your blood pressure is being reduced and your cholesterol is being reduced, you probably gonna feel a little bit, a little bit more chill because your blood pressure not all high and stuff. Like so, and then like sweet potato pie and stuff like that, you tend to season it with stuff like the cinnamon. Cinnamon has a kind of calming effect. I like to put cardamom in mine. Cardamom is great for that as well. um, anise, uh, ginger, nutmeg, all of that stuff. Like the aromas are very uplifting and things like that. So that's part of why those types of dishes are cooked around that time because you spent like almost 6 months at that point in time, like maybe 4 or 5 months with less sun. So the sun has been taking longer to come up and it sets way earlier. So guess what your body hasn't been making a lot of? Uh, vitamin D. And vitamin D is very important for mood regulation and like all kinds of stuff that deal with like depression and serotonin production and all of that stuff. So, bless you, Duna. So, if you're making less vitamin D and you're getting less sunlight to make vitamin D, it's really good to make sure that you're supplementing your diet properly with vitamin D because your skin isn't making it from potassium. And that's also good to get potassium, even if you're taking a vitamin D supplement, because they just even each other out. So your body takes the potassium and makes it into vitamin D under your skin. When your skin comes into contact with UV radiation, it converts the potassium into vitamin D. So if you're not getting a lot of sunlight, your body isn't making vitamin D. So you have to be ingesting it to make sure those levels are maintained properly. And guess what also has a nice little source of potassium and such? Squash, carrot. So the colors of the food tend to match very closely with the uh, the types of nutrients and things that they bring to your body. So I wish I had some eggplant. I definitely would have added some to this. And probably did like little stuffed eggplant salad salad bowls next to it. Oh, that's a good idea because the eggplant is has that purple outer shell, and really you're eating the inside. Like you do eat the skin, but you don't have to. And you can just scoop out the inside and then cut up, make your chopped salad and stuff, and then use the eggplant skin as a bowl. So you have a purple bowl next to your bread bowl of orange, butternut, squash, carrot, sweet potato soup. So yeah, that'd be a nice little visual. And then you got your nutrients from your eggplant in it, and you can do like a beet sauce because beets are red. So then you'll have your whole rainbow of nutrients and stuff there. It'd be all pretty food. See, this is how my mind works. This is how stuff get the moving and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that could go together. Because eggplant to me doesn't really taste like much. It has a texture to it, like it's kind of like a spongy, not mushy texture. It's like firm. It's very firm, but it's spongy. But it doesn't have a real flavor to it, at least not to me. It probably tastes of something like mushrooms, but not quite. Like mushrooms have like that savory flavor. I don't think eggplant's got that same little, savory situation. Did I turn the oven on? Yeah, the oven is on. Once I get this in the bowl, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it and see if I did this bread right with a little soda. I'm gonna say, yeah. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get this bread to turn out right. Otherwise, I'm gonna just have some intricate little bread roll to go with my soup. Sticking to the knife. It's boiling a lot. I might add another cup or so of water because that water is not making. I'd probably put too much stuff in there to soak up the water, and I was boiling it all that time with the lid off, so some of my water probably cooked off because it looked like it looked like it's struggling a little bit. And then once I put this other half in there, this stuff is not going to be covered. You want to make sure when you're boiling your stuff, you want to make sure that the water level is covering all of your ingredients. So I'm going to add an extra cup of water and see if that'll get us to where we need to be. Okay, last one. Sorry, missed y'all for so long. Been training. No worries. Hey, Miss Monique, you back? Been in training, almost done. And Grandmaster J has 5 teeth fighting in here. Oh, loving this one right here. Yeah, people be sleeping on the butternut squash. I'm telling you, man. And it's so much you can do with the flavor. It's so crazy. You can even make it sweet. How you do sweet potatoes, you can do a sweet, roasted kind of butternut squash situation. And I like its texture better than sweet potatoes actually, because it gets slightly softer than sweet potatoes do before they start getting mushy So I really like how butternut squash cooks down. And it's more orange. It has more of a vibrant color. So this is why it makes for a very good winter season food, because it's so bright. So it kind of brings, some light back into your life. Because like I said, the sun is going down all early and stuff. You kind of feel some type of way. It's dark at 4:30. All of that mess. You wake up at 7. It's still dark. At 7, it is still dark o'clock. So I'm trying to check my water levels right now. Let me see if I can bring y'all over here so y'all can see what I'm doing in the pot. So at this point, okay, I'm checking my water levels. I'm pushing the fresh squash I just put in there down to the bottom to try and get it to go ahead and cook. And I'm trying to see, I may or may not need that extra cup of water. But you definitely want to make sure everything is covered by the liquid to make sure that it's cooking. So everything is just covered. So I have so 6 cups was perfect. Okay, it worked out perfectly for me. You might need to add some water or no, but whatever you decide to do, make sure your vegetables are completely covered. So now I got to get my bread together. So bring y'all this way. I'm gonna put. And yes, I did save my squash seeds so I can make me a little snack. I'm gonna roast them and make a little snack. So see, I got my seeds in here, and I'm gonna just set them to the side so I can get to season them and toss them in the oven. I'm probably gonna put it in the oven next to my bread. Cause I'm just doing the one bowl roll for now. So whatever extra dough I have, I'm gonna roll up and leave it somewhere. And then let me get my egg wash. Egg, milk. Almost knocked that over. Put that down. So open the cabinet, almost knocked the phone off. And this is for the egg wash for the bread. tablespoon, so like that much, closer to that much of milk. I got squash on this fork. Wash the squash off the fork. Okay. Okay, wipe this surface and then we're gonna flour it so I can handle this dough. And we got our egg wash here. So I got a pinch. I'm gonna put parchment paper on it. I think they say you could use foil too, but I got parchment paper, so that's what I'm gonna use. Okay. So this is my grown up struggling piece of bread. It smells bready. It smells like there's a bread situation going on. It feels like biscuit dough. So I'm gonna pull this off. And I'm gonna tarragon and some chia seeds. So this is how I'm deciding to season my bread. I should have put this in another step, but like I said, I wasn't trying to get my bread to be a situation. Now I don't know. Can y'all see that? Because I'm trying to keep my phone from tipping over because it be acting like it wants to tip over when I'm still using. Okay, there we go. So y'all can see that better now. So I'm just adding some tarragon because I'm just thinking about how I want my bread to taste in conjunction with how my soup is going to taste, and I think tarragon will bring it out. And it'll make the bread look kind of pretty. It'll make it look herby, not urban, herby. Okay, and it said like squish out the air, like whatever that meant. I was like, so basically, you need the dough. You gotta need the dough. You can't just want the dough. You gotta need the you gotta need the dough. You can't just want the dough. And it has like a really nice like spongy like consistency to it. I don't know if this is big enough to make a big bread bowl, but we're gonna see because it said put it in a large bowl, and I guess when it bake up, it's gonna grow in size. And this is actually going into. I'm gonna wrap it up because, like I said, I'm only making the one bowl for today, and I already got my oven preheated, and I'm gonna put my pumpkin seeds on here too, like I said, so that could be baked up, roasted, toasted. And see, this is think I gotta put another wrap around it the other way too. But I'm gonna set this off to the side so I can get this situation done. And then see, now I got my sunflower seeds, my squash seeds in here. We'll take that out. Much of this little stringy stuff out if I can. Because we don't need that. We don't need that part. We just need the seeds. There we go. And then I can season them in the bowl. These are going to be so bomb. A nice little quick protein packed snack. Snack attack. And so we get our olive oil. Need just that because these ain't that many. It's probably like this is probably like literally one serving of seeds because they're the fat content and stuff on the seeds and stuff tend to be pretty high. So the serving size is really small. And so now they're nicely covered. You see with some olive oil. I'm gonna get my favorite kind of salt. Oops, I think I lost one. And I'm going to put some smoked paprika on these. I told you this smoked paprika changed lives. Smoked paprika changed lives. So if you don't have none, you might want to get you some and be a part of the movement too. And it smells amazing, of course. Of course it does. And then once these are done, I'm going to just cut this into the parchment paper off and put my bread back in the oven. Because these will be done way before the bread. Way before. Oh, my chia seeds. So, where we at with the egg? So, we got the egg wash right here, right? So, let me make sure I'm doing this right because I don't want to put and then not put the right layer on there. So, what we say? Once it's doubled in size, punch it down, release some air, did all that. Yep, and I put it in a large ball. Okay, and aligned it. Yep, and then we preheat the oven. Yep. And now we brush it with egg wash and Carbon X. Alrighty then. So I need to get my brush. See, you can go. So we're gonna brush it down. Brush it down. Do 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 do. So can you see that? So it was real quick. I really didn't need a whole egg for that, but it has the egg wash on it, and I'm gonna sprinkle it with these little chia seeds. Sprinkle it. Sprinkle it, baby. Sprinkle it. Okay. And then you take a knife, cut the X in. It said a sharp knife. I don't have a sharp knife, so I use the knife I have. Like the instructions actually said a sharp knife. I don't own one of those. I own knives that cut, and they might not necessarily be sharp. Not the same thing. So now our bread is ready to get into the oven. And we can get our soup mashed up because everything looks like it's all soft and glued together now. Let me bring y'all over here with me now. And come on this way. So everything is pretty much done at this point. I just turned the water off for the soup. And you see, ooh, it's about to tip clean into the soup. I know it looked good, but hold your horses wrong. You can't be doing all of that. So everything is really soft. It's cooked. Let me get a fork to pierce it so you can see how. So the ones that were moved, this is a piece of squash. This is one of the last ones. And so you see, it was really easy to pierce with a fork. It's not completely falling apart. So that means your soup is still going to have a nice, thick consistency to it. And so now, like, this has a lot of juice in it. So I'm going to actually drain some of this juice off. I specifically use this pot because it has a lid on it, and I can just pour liquid into some glass. And so we'll use the measuring cup from before that we made our broth with. You see, we have come full circle now. Okay, so that was like a cup worth of juice. So you see here, a cup. Now I'm going to get my masher. And it's really just a standard potato masher. So whatever you use to mash your potatoes with, that's what we're going to use to mash this stuff up with. And we're going to take our time because there's still a lot of juice in here, but you want that because that's going to help you get stuff mashed. And like I said, if you want a smoother or a creamier soup, you can definitely use a hand submersion mixer. It looks like it almost looks like a cattle prod or like a hand wand or something like that. Like it's very handheld. It's small, straight up and down. They usually have an electric whisk attachment, but yeah, they're easy to get. There are some cheaper ones like $20 or $30, but I don't know how good those are. Like I said, this is my first time using the mash method, but this is working out pretty well for me. It's super easy. If it's too hard for you to mash it, you might want to cook your stuff a little bit longer. Like I said, baking it first also softens it up. And also you can just transfer it to a blender, either all at once if you have a big enough blender or in batches. And that'll be perfectly fine as well. Like I said, there's no no right or wrong way to do it, because if you'll eat it, then it worked out. So, now we're just getting everything mashed. And so, like, this is actually a pretty good liquid consistency for me. So I might not have to add none of this back in. And like I said, this is now vegetable broth. So now I have butternut, squash, carrot, sweet potato, fennel broth that I can, use as a base for something else that I might want to make, or, to add some moisture or liquid to something else that probably starts out like dry or whatever. And instead of just adding water, you can use that to add in flavor and nutrients. I'm trying to mash these carrots a little bit more. They're still kind of round. They're still kind of round in here because, like I said, they were smaller carrots, so I didn't cut them in half. I just cut them into rounds, so they're like almost like whole pieces of carrots still floating around in here. And you can see the pieces of dill that I had put in here initially too. Let me see if I can. So you can see it got really steamy, didn't it? So you can see the pieces of dill, the little dill leaves in there. So it really does add like a nice little visual to the soup, along with the flavor. Like this smell is amazing right now. So my seeds are done. Oh, they're starting to pop out of there. Let me get my seeds about this oven. I'm coming, daughter. she's ready to get out of her bed, so I'm gonna take her out. But I had to grab my seeds before they all started popping, and I end up with pump squash seeds. So these are the seeds right here. My bread is still over there. It looks like it's trying to rise a little bit. Not really. But like I said, it still got like 10 or 15 more minutes in there anyway. But that's hot. I probably shouldn't use my bare fingers. And so then I just let them cool, and I got a nice little protein packed snack. Once my that's her. So, and then that's what the bread looks like so far right now. It's definitely not done. I'm gonna put it back in there. I just took it out so I could get my my pumpkin seed from popping all over the oven. Um, and we're basically ending, like, nearing the end now. I was hoping that the bread would be done in the show, but I guess not. So I'll just post it later once it's finished, and I'll let y'all know if I was able to to make a bowl out of it or not. And come on, girl. And I'll let y'all know if I was able to make a bowl out of it or not. But this soup is definitely done. Like I said, if you want a creamier soup, I would suggest using a submersion hand blender or putting them into a regular blender. Make sure that it's heat safe. If not, you have to let it cool down first, because the cups on my blender are actually plastic, so I wouldn't be able to put this in there right now. I have to wait a little bit and let it cool down before I can blend it into a smooth soup. But you can definitely blend it into a smooth soup if you want it more. If you want it more of a watery consistency, you have a whole extra cup of seasoned soup juice to add to it to get it to the consistency that that you would prefer. So it's very personalizable. Like I said, you can freeze it, put it in bags just like this, freeze it. Yeah. Put it in bags just like this and freeze it. You could even freeze it before mashing it so that they're chunks still, and then you can either blend it or chunk it later. And like, there's so many different things you can do with this. You can have it as a side. Like I said, you can add some meat to it. You could even do like a hash with it, because there's potatoes and stuff in it already. You can do, scramble some eggs in a pan with some, a little bit of meat and some greens. Throw some of this in there, and you have a hash, like, instantly. So much stuff you can do with it. Very nutritious. Yes. And welcome back. Welcome back, Monique. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, it's so versatile, and I'm telling y'all, it is super delicious. Like, I love it. And I'm glad I was able to get another chance to make some more, and with y'all, of course. So if you make it, let me know what you think. If you add something extra into it, like I did, I added the fennel in there. So I'll let y'all know how it tastes with all of that. And with my bread bowl, like I said, hopefully it's able to, like, grow up and be a real bowl one day. Hopefully it grows up into a real bowl one day, and I'll be able to put the soup in there, and I can take a nice picture for y'all, with the garnishes and stuff. And that's all I got for y'all today. It was so much fun. It's extra hot. And this is a very nutritious, a very easy recipe to expand, like I said, to include other vegetables, so that you're getting your full rainbow color of vegetables in it. And like I said, it's a great vegetarian dish. You can have it with or without meat, and it's still very filling either way. So make sure y'all tune in next Saturday. This time, because what are we doing? This was dinner. So our next recipe will probably either be breakfast or a snack. We'll see. But I'm definitely trying to get something fun for the turn of the season, because now we're getting into May. So now it should be spring and no big snows left. So I'll be finding some fun, kind of tropical, fruity recipes, ways to incorporate fruit into some nice savory dishes as well. So be on the lookout for those coming up in May. And definitely check us out in our Rock True Queens conference on May 6th. Yes, you can register via Eventbrite. It is free. But registering, commenting on our live videos, like how Miss Monique has been doing, how Ty pops in, will definitely get you a chance to win one of our Kingdom Customary baskets, where we are featuring different, yes, thank you, well, we're featuring different business owners, businesses with their services and products and things that they sell, and they'll be featured in the basket, and you get it for free just for supporting us. So isn't that amazing? So I'm excited. I can't wait to go over our Adjust Your Crown conference. I can't wait to get into the nitty and the gritty and hear all the other wonderful women that are speaking with us. So we're all excited, and we can't wait to share, little things that we've been able to pick up through our life experiences, and situations and things that have gotten us to adjust our crown, how we did it, how we're doing it, and how we'll continue to do it, as one and as a unit together. So, yes, I know, right? Yes, I'm excited. So that's all I got for y'all today. I was a little quiet today because I had to concentrate because I was doing a lot of cutting, and I like having it on my fingers. so, so I apologize for that. This recipe did take a lot of prep, but once you get the prep going, like, or you can go ahead and get your older kids, if you got some teens or something that don't, help, get them to cut up all the stuff, and then you can make soup whenever you want to. Like, just hand me that bag of chopped up carrot, hand me that bag of and there you go, and boom, you can make the soup real quick. 20 minutes tops. So you all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see y'all May 6th.